Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we will have a look at one of the best high-end OLED gaming monitors, the Gigabyte AORUS FO32U2P. These names are getting crazy anytime. This is a 32-inch monitor and is packed with a lot of features. It has, as mentioned, an OLED panel, HDMI 2.1 and Display 2.1 ports, an incredibly high refresh rate of 240Hz and much more. So let's start. Opening the box, we have the monitor itself, securely packed with foam padding. There is a stand, the power supply, and one DisplayPort 2.1 cable, one mini DisplayPort 2.1 cable. Both DisplayPort cables support full DisplayPort 2.1 standard with a total bandwidth of 8 gigabit per second. And there is also one HDMI 2.1 cable, one USB Type-C cable, and another USB Type-A to Type-B cable, and a quick start guide. There are all the necessary cables included for the best connectivity options, and you can connect the monitor to a PC, Mac, and all gaming consoles. As for the ergonomics and setup, I have to say that installing the FO32U2P is straightforward. The stand attaches easily with a screw and is quite sturdy. It has also space for cable management if you want. In my opinion, the feet of the stand, once placed on the desk, still occupy too much space. The monitor allows for tilt, swivel, and height adjustments, so you can find the perfect viewing angle with ease. And being an OLED panel, you won't have issues even if you're not perfectly standing in front of it. Also, it is VESA 100 compatible if you wanted to install it on a monitor arm. Let's talk about design and build quality. The Gigabyte AORUS FO32U2P has a really good build quality and a good looking with thin bezels. The back of the monitor features a brushed metal finish with customizable RGB lighting, and you can turn it off if you want. Overall, I like the design of this monitor. It doesn't have branding or model names all over it, and it is not screaming, "Look at me, I'm your typical gaming monitor." And this is a good thing if you want to use it for both productivity and gaming. Let's deep dive into some specs and details. This is a 32-inch, to be precise 31.5-inch monitor with a QD OLED panel, 4K resolution, refresh rate of 240Hz, and a response time of 0.03 milliseconds gray to gray. Being a QD OLED panel, this monitor has some interesting features, as infinite contrast with certified VESA display HDR True Black 400 and up to 1000 nits in HDR, native 10-bit color depth, and clear motion blur certified. So in whatever scenario you are using this monitor, gaming, content creation, or watching videos and movies, the image quality will be always amazing. The Gigabyte AORUS FO32U2P comes with all these great panel specs, but there are also a lot of ports and connectivity options. There are two HDMI 2.1 ports that can support 4K and 240Hz, and it is perfect for next-gen console gaming. One DisplayPort 2.1 port with full UHBR20 bandwidth support. Actually, there is no gaming GPU that can take advantage of the DisplayPort 2.1, but we hope that the next gen of GPUs will support DisplayPort 2.1. There is also mini DisplayPort that is 2.12, similar to the normal one, and another DisplayPort 1.4 for daisy chaining other monitor. We have also USB Type-C port with 65 watt of power delivery, and a USB KVM hub with two USB Type-A downstream ports and one Type-B upstream. If you are like me and use the monitor connected to different devices at time, you will find this feature helpful. There are also two 3.5mm separated audio jacks, one for the mic in and one for the headphones. Speaking about audio, this monitor has also two 5-watt speakers, which certainly I wouldn't recommend for gaming, watching movies, or listening to music. But in case you want to listen some status notifications or things like that, they are more than okay. As we can see, this monitor has all the connectivity options you might need. As mentioned, this is a QD OLED panel with incredible performance in games in terms of visual and quality. It covers almost 100% of DCI-P3 color space, and if compared to an IPS monitor, well, you will certainly notice the huge difference. The FO32U2P supports HDR10 and True Black 400 with infinite contrast, and the peak brightness in HDR is 1000 nits. This is a glossy panel and you will have even more image quality. The only downside here is that you should control your ambient lighting. Unfortunately, the monitor doesn't support Dolby Vision, but hopefully they will implement it with a firmware update, because the QD OLED is surely capable of that. Out of the box, the calibration is well done and you don't have to go heavy on settings. Just keep in mind two important things. The first one, Windows doesn't manage that good HDR. And the second one, in general, color and image are always going to be different from person to person. So whatever it's my perspective, of the image might not be necessarily the same of yours or to someone else. If you want to tweak some image settings, the OSD menu of the monitor offers a lot of options for you to tweak and find the better settings that fits your view. I would recommend using HDR game mode for gaming and setting the APL to medium. I tested this monitor with various games, from FPS to visually demanding titles, and the performance was always outstanding. The monitor also supports variable refresh rate, including both G-Sync and FreeSync Premium Pro, ensuring tier-free and stutter-free gaming experience. We have a latency of 3.03 milliseconds gray to gray for incredible smoothness in all gaming titles. One feature that you guys might find really useful is the tactical switch that will switch the screen resolution to 24-inch in case you want to play competitive FPS titles. Alright guys, here we have the OSD menu. As we can see, we have a lot of functions here and a lot of settings, especially for gaming settings. We have super resolution. You can see we can choose also to reduce the aspect of the display, but this you can do it with the dedicated button. And we have here we have some settings about the picture. I have to say that HDR game with HDR Vivid are basically the same. They have the same color temperature, the same brightness, and also the same contrast. So whatever you choose between these two, they are the same. If you want to watch a movie, we have HDR movie, which is a little bit less bright than other settings, and HDR LG if you want to use it for editing or for content creation especially. And we have also the simple HDR here, which you can't not change nothing, and also the contrast and the picture is a little bit washed out in my opinion. And then we have settings about display. We can choose input, AVM, daisy chaining with other things. You can also change the RGB range. By default it wasn't the full RGB colors here, it was 16 to 135, which I recommend to set it to 0, full spectrum of the colors here. And moving on, we have picture-in-picture and picture-by-picture settings. If you have two devices connected and you want to see the screen split in two and check all both devices at the same time. And here we have some general settings. And OLED care is another sub-menu which you can activate by going on the left with the OSD button. And here we have the status of the OLED care and some settings also about the pixel cleaning, pixel shift, and static control. So all those settings are useful for preventing the burning or preventing those static images on your monitor. And here we have also the APL stabilize, which I recommend to set between middle and high. And on this other submenu of the game assist, we have some game timer, game counting, refresh rate if you want to set the refresh rate. So that was some quick settings on the monitor as the menu. Let's quickly go over some pros and cons, starting with the pros. The first one is the QD OLED display is amazing with deep blacks and vibrant colors. The second pro is a 4K resolution and 240 Hz refresh rate for an immersive gaming experience, plus the tactical switch for competitive FPS sessions. Moving on, we have a lot of connectivity options, including HDMI 2.1 and full support for DisplayPort 2.1, making this a future-proof monitor. Then we have a user-friendly OSD menu with a lot of interesting features, helping you to get the best image and also prevent the burning. The last but not least is a 3-year warranty with burn-in included. Not all the brands and not all the monitors have this pro or let's say this feature, so this is really interesting. So well done Gigabyte here. As for the cons, OLED panels are prone to burning if static images are displayed for extended period. But this is partial cons because, as mentioned, this monitor is covered by a 3-year warranty with the included burning. Anyway, if you take care of the monitor by regularly running pixel cleaning, this might not be an issue. Second cons is the price. The MSRP is around $1,400, depending on when you live. This can be different, which is high and might not fit everyone's budget. Moving on, the external power supply. I personally don't like external power supplies on monitors, but this for some of you might not be an issue. And then the power delivery of the USB-C is only 65 watts, which can be okay for most of the devices you want to connect, but other monitors in the same category provide up to 90 watts from the USB Type-C port that allows you to connect and charge the battery for also more devices. In conclusion, the Gigabyte AORUS FO32U2P is an incredible monitor, offers a premium gaming experience. Its OLED panel provides unmatched image quality and the high refresh rate ensures ultra smooth gameplay. The array of features and connectivity such as the DisplayPort 2.1 options make it a versatile choice for both gamers and content creators. However, the high price is a thing to consider here, but if you are not worried about the price tag, I can highly recommend it as the best 32-inch 4K OLED monitor right now. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Drop a comment below if you have any questions or if you have this monitor and what is your experience with it.